All right, guys. So we got the cab pulled. Big thank you to Brandon. Took me about an hour fighting with this emergency brake cable, and finally I just busted out the grinder and cut just the connector. So we'll get it spliced back together. No big deal. Only thing I forgot about was the ABS wires, but luckily I saw those before they broke. And then there was a fuel line that was zip tied. And you guys can see here we already have the Air Dog on here. This is actually a 100, so it's smaller than the one that I actually have from Air Dog. So we will eventually be swapping this out for sure. But for right now, we'll just leave it alone. This truck had a lot of oil leaks, shocker. What I'm noticing is we have some oil leaks definitely coming from the bed plate, little seepage there. And then we also have some, coming from the dipstick tube, as well as we had some oil leaks coming from up front. Most of these we'll address. Some of them I just personally don't really care that much because it didn't leak that bad. The biggest one is definitely the rocker box on the passenger side. So luckily when we do the head gasket swap, it won't be that big of a deal. But yeah, not too bad. Again, big thanks to Brandon for helping me. I'm going to call it a night, pick this up in the morning, and hopefully we have all this stripped down. And then for the parts list, we have head gasket set, we have new glow plug harnesses, new glow plugs, a new H-pop from Motorcraft or Ford, new IPR from Ford. I'm not too worried about the ICP because it is working, and this is an easy one to swap on this truck. We have a set of Warren diesel injectors for it that I just ordered. Unfortunately, our turbo is not going to be here in time, so it sucks that we won't be able to change it, but not a big deal. They are kind of easy on these. We also have a new, trying to think here, got the glow plugs. Oh, standpipes, dummy plugs. And guys, I understand a lot of you are saying lifters and all that stuff. Like, if I truly cared, or I don't know, I'd rather just roll the dice on this 300,000 mile short block. You know, Brandon, what do you think? It's not really life without a little risk, right? Yeah, so we're gonna play Russian roulette with a 6-liter, which I feel like buying this thing I already did. Hopefully we treat it to some brand new O-ringed heads from Fleece, and we have no issues. But this is where I leave you tonight. We'll pick it back up in the morning. All right, we're back. Next day, let's get it. Let's get this thing blown apart so I can figure out what is wrong. Guys, crack me up in the comments. Some of you guys I see are sarcastic. Some of y'all get real butthurt. I mean, you know what they say, guy. Sometimes it's a joke, not a you know what. Don't take it too serious. But let's get this ripped apart. Well guys, as you can see, we've put some of the pieces back on, and that is because this engine is gonna need lifters. If you can look right there, really if you just look at the depth of that lifter, let me try to get you guys a little closer. You guys see how close it is? That lifter is almost flat. That cam lobe, nice and chewed up as well. Try to get you guys better. Boom. So, it's unfortunate, but you know, at the end of the day, guys, little setbacks. So I think what I'm gonna do for right now is we're gonna need this lift, you know. So what we'll do is I'll kind of leave it like this. I'll tuck everything back in on the truck, put the H-pop cover back down. Luckily I did not pull the heads before I pulled the H-pop, so the heads are still fastened down. I'm not sure what parts we'll need off this one, but I think at this point, just given how poorly this thing was treated, we'll just look for a new stock bottom end truck, maybe one that needs head gaskets, and then we'll bolt all of our fresh stuff into or onto that engine. Not really the end of the world. You could get 6-liter motors pretty cheap actually. So it sucks because I really just wanted to drive this thing, but at the end of the day, like, most of this crap we could just throw in the bed of the truck. Not really too big a deal. You set the cab down, and you get ready for the next one. It is what it is. You know, guys, I'd love to tell you I'm just horribly upset. I will say that the guy that sold me this truck is a real piece of, because after taking everything apart, I think they actually figured out what was wrong. Because the silicone for this, like, nothing peeled with it. It just stayed like it had already been off. A lot of the bolts seem to be loose in this area. So I don't know. Again, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this guy knew that this motor was in fact dusted. Unfortunately, you can't really run a lot of diagnostics on the truck that doesn't have coolant and everything else. So a little bit shame on me, a little bit shame on him. The nice part is, you know, this motor was leaking oil. We could fix that now. Gives you a little bit more time. We could probably clean the frame off quite a bit. Get everything kind of cleaned up on it. I still am, I wish I could be upset, but none of the parts that I ordered really are a setback. Like, we're still gonna do the turbochargers, the injectors, the heads, all that stuff. So it's really not that big of a deal. Now, obviously, what we'll do is I will do the 6-liter, the replacement engine. I'll actually probably just put that together, get it to like this point outside of the truck, and then in a day just kind of flip-flop the transmission engine combination. And then because the cab's already off, it saves us quite a bit of work. So again, not ideal, however, not terrible either. Like, I mean, it sucks, and it is what it is, but you know, we will get there. And to the people saying that we should come and swap this thing, you have lost your mind. No way. The whole point I bought a 6-liter is because I wanted a 6-liter. If I wanted a Cummins, I'd go buy a Dodge or a Ram. Well guys, that's gonna be a wrap on this video. You win some, you lose some. Today we lost. Realistically, with as hot as that oil got, I'm glad I saw that lifter, because if I wouldn't and it would have been a different lifter, I would have rolled the dice, possibly cost myself more headache, more heartache, whatever you want to call it. So I'm glad we looked at it. We got to see that destroyed lifter. Now what I'm gonna do is try and find a good usable block, or like short block or long block. There are, we got a couple of buddies of mine that are big into 6 liters. They are double checking their inventory. What we'll do then is we'll pull the back plate off and replace lifters on this. That way, you know, we can just take care of that while we're in there, then put our heads on, our injectors and stuff. So the nice part is, I saw somebody's like, oh, you shouldn't order parts until you know. Like, the only thing that's changed now is I just need to order lifters. So not really a huge deal there. And then we'll bolt everything else onto it. No big deal. The nice part is we have a complete engine, harness, all that stuff here already, that we know at least runs and drives. So not a huge deal whatsoever there. If you know of anybody that's selling a good 6-liter engine, by good I mean doesn't have rods hanging out of the side of it, ran. If it needs head gaskets, that's fine, because we're gonna do, you know, heads and all that stuff anyway. Let me know, drop it in the comments. Oh, you know, it is what it is. This is the best case scenario for a build series on a 6-liter. For content, probably the worst for my wallet, but at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is, and we gotta make lemons out of lemonade, or lemonade out of lemons, I guess. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed this one. Also, thank you to everyone that tagged me in the Randy's transmission post for 5R help. They have not reached out as of yet. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. If they do, awesome, I'd love to work with them. If they don't, that's fine too. We will figure it out on our own. Hopefully you guys like this video. Drop a comment down below, subscribe if you are not already, and as always, I'll catch y'all on the next one.